Matt Meehan here for IrishBoxing.com. Dylan, the last time I seen you was in Waterford. Yeah, it was in Waterford, which is a while back now. You've been grafting, becoming a PT. You've been out on the road, hitting them miles, fam. How's everything going?
Yeah, man, all is good. The time has flown by since the last one, actually. Um, yeah, December. Been tipping away in the gym. Same old, nothing new, nothing strange. Delighted to be back in camp and getting ready for September 13th.
Um, why the rematch? One question, and then the other question, kind of concluding with it, is why now?
It was ever only going to be the rematch after Waterford. Kind of found myself asking why was I going to the gym? All I wanted was the big night in Waterford. I got it. And people are ringing saying, "What's next? What's the plan?" And I said, "The only fight I'll go back to the gym for is the McKenna rematch." Um, yeah, and lo and behold, here we are. For a while, it didn't look like it was going to happen, and it just came out of the blue 2 weeks ago. So happy days.
Did you think that the poster was going to be released on that day? Because I seen then another thing you're kind of surprised, like, oh Jesus, Matchroom don't mess around at all whatsoever. That they had a release, and you're like, oh, it's actually posted now.
Yeah. I said yes to the fight and went to the gym, and I left the gym thinking, I wonder, is this going to come off? Like, is it going to happen? Is it on or not? And then I got home. I was walking into the front door here and see Match Unboxing tagged during the post, and I was like, I guess it's happening.
Like it's you've always been one to soak up the big nights, whether in Waterford or up in Belfast, or it's another one in Belfast, but it's kind of another level to them where it's Windsor Park, it's 20,000 people. You've boxed in front of a few thousand obviously before, but it's kind of that next level, if you get me, where it's a stadium fight, it's your first stadium fight, and I say kind of all sorts of happy emotions are running through you when you kind of think of that.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's a mega night for Irish boxing, and I've been slaving away at this game for the last number of years. So I'm delighted to get my name stamped on it, be a part of it. And yeah, it's not long out now. It come around so fast. I'm going to enjoy the next few weeks training. I've enjoyed the way the whole lot of it has happened. Just out of the blue, hit the gym, get going, and the fight is only around the corner.
Was there any other people that you ever thought of in the immediate aftermath of December, maybe like to get back into to get back into the swing of things, maybe get a light 6 8 rounder in, or was it only Tyrone?
Nah, just her own, Matt. Um, I'm at a stage now. I'm training all my life and in and out of camps, and I don't need no warm ups. Stay ready. I'm always tipping away in the gym. You know how this boxing game works. After been at it for so long, you could get a call just like I did, and yeah, it was good to go. But I had to be the Tyrone rematch, given what the first fight was and everything that came with it. That was the only fight interested me.
I just want to kind of take you back to December. It's kind of the night after. Well, it's late into the night, and you're probably your head hits the pillow, and you're staring up at the ceiling or the side of the wall, wherever your eyes are pointed at. What's going through Dylan Moran's head at that time?
Like, yo, that was crazy.
Yeah.
um, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It ended up just being mad from the off. Did the crowd get the better of me? I don't know. But yeah, it was crazy. It was mad. I always wanted to be involved in a fight like that. And lo and behold, it happened on, what was my biggest night in Waterford. And
Yeah.
yeah, everyone enjoyed it. Like I said, I came out the wrong end of it, but it was what it was.
Was there, if you mind me asking, was there a sense of anger, sadness, something like that? In obviously you're sitting back in the dressing room and you're, hands in the head, and you're just like, that just happened. If you get me, in a way.
Yeah, and it all just happened so fast. Same
Yeah.
with all these fights, they come and go, but the fight itself on this particular night, it's just boom, in the click of my fingers, it was over. Um, but yeah, it was only afterwards then when I kind of watched it back and, I was listening to people's opinions. It was crazy. You don't really ever see a fight like that. The two of us just went, you know, head to head, and yeah, it was just a shootout. Someone had to go down.
Did you expect that to happen in that kind of fashion where it was like kind of all action, like a Mexican shootout from the first second really to the last?
Yeah, I didn't want it to happen, but I'm not surprised that it happened. You know, I know myself, I know Tyrone, I've watched him for years, so that outcome was always a possibility. I was planning on trying to avoid it, but I clearly didn't.
Yeah. What do you have to do to right the wrongs September 13th in Belfast?
September 13th, box. Stick to my plan and box. You know, yeah, just use my brain. You know, not go out and see who's tougher than who, and like that was just a shootout. That was a proper fight.
Mm.
I boxed September 13th. I beat Tyrone McKenna. I've no doubt in my mind. But don't for 1 second think when I get the chance I'm not going to try and take his head off.
So if there is the chance, obviously you're gonna go for it.
1,000,000%.
Do you feel that you hurt Tyrone in any way whatsoever in December?
Yeah, definitely. He can say he wasn't hurt. He was hurt in there. I was hurt in there, but me and him both. You had to have been. Look at the shots we were showing from the off. Like I said, it was crazy.
Yeah, like I've kind of revisited some of your fights, and it looks kind of like a bit of a slow start, and you kind of get into the rhythm where it was just like boom, everything's happening all at once. There's 10 things going on at the same time. I remember it was me, Anthony Kakachi, and a few others, and Ian Gawker there was sitting ringside, kind of looking at each other like, what's going on here? Absolute pace that was going on.
Yeah, it was Matt. It was just crazy. Like I said though, I always wanted to be involved in a fight like that. And
Yeah,
what better place was it to happen than Waterford?
yeah,
You know, the fight is remembered, will be remembered. Like I said, I meet people every day that were at the show and was like, it was the craziest thing they ever seen, and they never experienced that like it. The atmosphere was crazy,
yeah.
and yeah, September 13th though, I'm planning on it being a little bit different, but who knows what's going to happen.
If a win comes off, this game is crazy. If ifs and buts, but if this win comes off, do we see a third consecutive Waterford show? Where do we see Dylan going next?
Just beat Tyrone is my next, goal, man. I haven't really looked past it to be honest.
Yeah.
Beat Tyrone McKenna on September 13th and just sit back and have a look then. I said this yesterday, boxing's a hard game. So if something makes sense, I'll have it. If it doesn't make sense, I'm not going to be waiting around.
Um, I was just thinking, like, you have a little brother, obviously Mason. I say it's nice to see kind of like he's carried it on for you when obviously there has to be a time where every boxer retires and hangs it up because that's the game that they're in. Nothing lasts forever, and that's in life in general. So when you hang up the gloves and you go off and have a successful PT business or something like that, hopefully we'll see what happens. What like I say it's nice for to see your younger brother kind of carry on the trade in the family.
Yeah, Mason is the man, Matt, and it's all about him for me. The best thing I got out of last show in Waterford was look at the experience he's got. I never had any of that, no footsteps to follow. I just had to figure it out. But all the mistakes I made, he won't have to make. And like I said, look at the experience. He's been there, the good days, the bad days, more importantly. He's sat in the dressing room. He's like my shadow. He's with me every step of the way. And I'm sure that will all stand to him massively going forward. And whatever he's going to do, it will help him massively.
Do you spend much time with him at all? Like, would you like as
Yeah.
brothers? What would you every second or
Yeah, not every second, but we're best
not every
friends. Yeah,
second?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's mad. Like when I finish a fight, the first person I need to ask how did I do is Mason, because his opinion. If he tells me it was good, it was good. If he tells me it was
ah,
bad, I know I've messed
yeah.
up.
So it's kind of a no bullshit in a way where like he'll tell you it straight. He's not going to sugarcoat it for you.
Oh, he's not sugarcoating nothing. That was useless or that was deadly.
Okay. Well, what was it after December? What did he say?
He just said, Dylan, that was crazy. Like,
Yeah,
we two was just start laughing. What
yeah,
could you do? Only laugh. It was just
yeah,
that was just a proper shootout, man.
yeah.
Two fellas laying it down the middle of the ring. I don't think skill or any of that came in to being involved. But yeah, it just ignited the whole arena. I remember hearing the crowd get up off their seats, and I never felt anything like it, to be honest with you. And it obviously got the better of me, but to have them experiences, especially at home, it's something else.
Like exclude the fighting for a sec. Like, what do those shows in Waterford mean to you? I've never asked this question, but I've always been interested. What does that show, like those kind of shows, and not shows, but those moments mean to you in the two Waterford shows, and just kind of your fan base and people in general?
Yeah, to sum it up, Matt, the first show in Waterford was unbelievable, but it wasn't it. I always imagined me against an Irish opponent and, having a fight like what the McKenna one was. I spent years imagining this and visualizing it, and that's all I wanted. All the challenges I went through, all the setbacks, I couldn't stop at any point because I had to make this Waterford show happen. For myself, and then more importantly, just the people that have got behind me from day one. I've been blessed with crazy support. From day one, they've come out and got behind me through thick and thin. They stuck with me. And I just couldn't stop. I became obsessed with it. I had to make Waterford happen because I knew it was possible. And lo and behold, at the end of a 10-year period, even longer, boom, Tyrone McKenna and Waterford, pro boxers coming to town. And it was crazy. That will live on in my city for the next number of years. And that's something that I'm proud of.
Um, like it's mad, like that. A lad who's only dreamed of it, and now it happened. I say, like, does that kind of ever have a pinch me moment kind of feel?
Yeah, definitely. It does. It's crazy. Like I said, if I was to hang up the gloves today, I'd have no regrets because that was all
Mm.
I ever wanted. I didn't want to be multiple world champion or make loads of money out of boxing. I'd be lying if I said I did. Go back to all my interviews over the years. I just wanted a big night in Over. It was something I got in my head years ago. I followed it through and it happened. Anything after this is a bonus.
Yeah.
Just the icing on the cake.
Was there ever contemplation of retirement after December?
Yeah, there was 1,000,000%. Boxing is a vicious game across the board for everyone. It takes more than it gives. I'm well aware of the health implications and whatnot. I'm 30 now, getting ready for the next chapter in life, and I want to be in the best physical and mental health I can be heading into that. And boxing puts all of that at risk every time I step in the ring. And I had to see, why was I going back to the gym? Why was I taking that gamble? And the only fight I was willing to do that for was the McKenna fight. And like I said, here we are. I have it.
Like, I guess it's like retirement, and then that kind of that massive fight happens. But what what was it that took to make the fight happen? Was it a text from Neil on WhatsApp? Was it a phone call from a number? Like, how did this kind of transpire?
It was originally supposed to be in November in Belfast. And that was, perfect time to get back in camp because I hadn't really been doing a whole lot. And I was like, yeah, I'm sound with that. Tyrone was like, yeah, that's good for me. And then just out of the blue last week, it was a message, Jamie Conlon, September 13th, match unwanted. What do you think? I was like, if Tyrone's having it, I'm having it. Let's pull the trigger and go for it.
What's your not relationship to Tyrone, but like, have you spent much time before with each other before the fight? How do you know each other before the fight?
No, we haven't at all spent much time together. I would have just watched Tyrone for years. I think we all have,
Yeah.
and then I ended up fighting him. I didn't get to see him after the last fight, but Tyrone seems a sound bloke.
Mm.
I haven't got a bad word to say about him. But like I said, the minute I get the chance, I'm going to try and take his head off. But I didn't get to catch him after the Waterford one. I'm sure we will deliver September 13th, and hopefully I'll see him for a point afterwards.
And a nice chat, I guess, as well.
Yeah, of course. That's the beauty of the game, isn't it? It's what it's all
Yeah.
about, really. Two of us get out of the ring safe and sound. Job
Mm.
done. Yeah, just sit and have a chat.
When you look back on your career, Dylan, you've sparred over in Dubai, you've drove fast cars, you've been live on Sky Sports, you've delivered 2 nights in Waterford. When I say those kind of things, what comes into your head?
Yeah, yeah. It's unreal, Matt, because I know how hard boxing is. I've done all of those with no promoter, no backing. It's testament to the support I get. I can put bums on seats down here. The people come out and get behind me. I stuck with it. I seen it through. Like I said yesterday, I don't know, there's luck come into play, but hard work does. I dedicate my whole life to make those nights
Mm.
happen. Living away in Europe on my own, locked in hotel rooms for days on end. It didn't come easy, I tell you that much, but it's definitely been worth it. And I'm just enjoying this period of my career now. It's a point I struggled to get to and with all the setbacks, the last 2 years for me, I've had nothing but big fights, decent paydays. Things are good.
What would Dylan Moran be doing if he wasn't boxing?
What I did on more everything, I don't know, man. Uh, yeah, coaching, I guess.
Mm.
I love coaching, I love teaching. Yeah, and that's what's next for me after boxing. I'm looking forward to it.
Dylan, one final question. Three singular words that we can expect from you against Tyrone McKenna in the highly anticipated match between you September 13th, Windsor Park in Belfast, and the Paddy Donovan versus Lewis Cocker rematch, the IBF welterweight world title.
Oh, shootout, exciting, probably crazy again.
Dylan, man, on that note, really appreciate it as always. Thank you so much.
Matt, you're a gentleman. Thank you.